Welcome everybody to episode 61 of the Rap Cave Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Chris Platte, aka Platte Pods, with a few of my good friends. Some people wanted to work, some people took the holiday weekend.
I came back, bro.
You did.
Yeah. You missed me?
You worked, yes.
Luckily,
he read over that real quick. We're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Luckily, they all took
Fuck who ain't
PTO,
here.
so they're all getting paid still for the weekend.
The real one is here, bitch. Let's get this show on the road.
Wait, hold up. People get paid for this shit?
Shh, why you tell them, bro? You fucking up the bag, bro.
That's my bad.
It don't even matter. He signed the contract. He signed.
Okay. All right, cool.
I ain't signed
Cool.
I'm with my dog, Bryce. Must be nice.
The incredible Bam.
The incredible Bam.
Damn, that's hard.
Every time he
I'm
fucks
with
that
my
up.
dog, Zay.
Yeah, what's good? Just Zay. Just that.
Fresh off another vacation because everybody that works for me takes vacations.
Listen, I'm gonna need a day off once or twice.
Big AP on the ones and twos.
I'm taking this one this one was obligatory and not by my choice, so I had to go.
Oh, you also, you know I'm out for like 3 weeks,
It was very
right?
inconsiderate. No,
Chris, you know I'm out for 3 weeks, right?
Bryce just goes on
Did you put it on
vacation
the
whenever he wants. Bro gonna be in Miami next week.
Did you put it on the Microsoft Teams calendar?
I did what I needed to do.
You did what you needed to
Next
do.
week he's going to Colombia.
Speaking of,
Yeah, he's about to be in Uzbekistan
speaking
by
of,
next week.
Let's just get into it.
Bro's in Thailand.
Speaking of doing what you need to do, has the Diddy defense attorney done what they needed to do to exonerate him?
Man, he's backed up in a corner, bro. Bro is fighting for his life right now at this point.
You like that transition, right?
That was really good.
That's like trying to swim back to the surface from the Marianas Trench, dog. Like, you're fucked. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Is he? Because the defense is like the whole defense is.
No.
We know he's a piece of shit. We know he beat the shit out of Cassie. However, he is charged with sex trafficking, not domestic abuse, not being a shitty person, all of these other things that he is.
So, from a legal perspective, their whole MO is...
That's a crazy defense, by the way.
Which it is very crazy, but it is basically saying, listen, you're charging him on federal charges. Everything that you're assuming is domestic and local. This is not a federal case, which is a very interesting way to play this defense. It's kind of working, though, because...
It is.
It's not no. This man is very guilty.
He's
let's
absolutely
be honest. This man is very guilty.
But they're approaching it from the wrong angle, from what I understand.
The defense is approaching it from the wrong angle because they're trying to do it on a federal RICO charge. None of this sounds like a RICO. This sounds like a domestic dispute, which should be a local charge.
This is where life went wrong, bro.
Because
lawyers done fucked up the world.
The thing that I've seen or that I've taken from it is
in a way.
If you wanted to all right, clearly we know this man should not be on the streets. There's too much evidence. There's too many. It's obvious, right? But the thing is if you really wanted to stick it to him, you would approach it from maybe not the sex trafficking angle because that's a lot harder to prove. That's a lot less reliant on testimony and reliant on evidence.
Right now, we're at a point where they're trying to prove a RICO charge, and the RICO is not doing well.
Right.
Now, we all know, and I guess I have to say allegedly, but Diddy guilty of this shit. But the problem is it's not displaying enough for a federal RICO charge right now.
It's not.
That's the problem.
It's not. So the freak offs happen, right? And there's some nasty, wild shit that's happening.
Move carefully.
And no way.
Can I just say, as someone who's following this, I never again want to hear rubbing stripper finish on someone's nipples
excrement
on Tuesday at 11:32 a.m. I don't want that anymore.
I think the people need to
What?
get to the bottom of it.
Oh, you heard about that,
Is
right?
that-
I'm not really up on the whole. I know I heard bits and pieces.
It is.
So what
It's
Cassie
degenerate.
The Punisher.
Cassie would.
Which
have
might I
sex-
let me just say one thing
Go ahead.
before y'all continue on what you're about to tell me about Cassie. I loved Cassie at one point in my life. I really did. I looked at that. Oh my God, so
She's not that
talented.
talented.
Extremely talented.
You shut your whore
Me and
mouth.
You shut your dirty
Me and
fucking
you is
mouth.
an all-time.
That was all.
Shut your fucking whore mouth. Don't
I
ever
don't care.
disrespect that woman like that.
If we did more post production on this show,
I don't think she deserved
to
to get. I don't listen. I don't think she
I'm
deserved
not
to
done.
get Diddy.
I am
but she's
not
also
done
not a
speaking
singer.
about
Nobody
my.
deserves
She's a model. She's not.
Nobody deserves
She should
it.
never have been a singer.
Listen, I am not discrediting that Cassie is kind of a shitty individual as well. Because she there was some other stuff that went on with Cassie, but I liked her when I was growing up. I enjoyed
think
her
that
music
her shitty
a lot, and I
individualism-
loved looking at her. if
I
you
think.
will.
Just let-
I
just
think.
let him cook for a second.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You go ahead.
I think her individual shitty qualities do not attest to this case whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Let's hear what she
Isaiah,
did.
I
What happened?
I want to hear what you want to.
I'm good now. I'm good now. Continue. I'm good.
All right.
No, you
What
were
did
saying
she
about
do?
Cassie.
No, I already finished. I used to like her at one point.
So that was.
So I just wanted it to be understood that I did like her at one point. But when I'm preparing myself for what y'all about to tell me,
that whole 2
and it's
minutes
gonna
was you
tarnish
shooting your
that.
shot at Cassie.
no. It was just I just wanted y'all to No,
Hit me
not at all.
up.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at
I
all.
was trying to see
Not
where
at
you were
all.
going.
Not at
Yo,
all. I want y'all
we
to
also-
understand
this
that I
week-
used to
this
love that lady at one point.
This week we learned like
Right,
Kid
we
Cudi.
understand that.
We learned Kid Cudi tried to take his shot, and that's how his car got blown up. So
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
they
good
were.
now.
They
I'm
had
good
a,
on that
They
now.
had a thing for a while. Yeah.
Never mind.
But what did she
it
do?
actually wasn't really blown up. It
What
was
did she do?
very burned, but not actually.
Bryce,
blown up.
what did she do?
All right, I'm gonna try to label this in the best way I can. So, they had an escort that Diddy and Cassie would hire called the Punisher.
Lucky bitch. Minus
Lucky bitch
Diddy.
and wow are crazy. Platte was flabbergasted. He said, "Wow." He said, my boy's taken aback.
He can't believe it.
I don't know. Should I continue this?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. My fault.
Vlad the Impaler.
Okay, so this escort, the Punisher, would have sex with Cassie and would finish inside of her.
Sweet.
And then,
Perchance.
sorry.
All right.
Stop, man. Stop.
Then what?
I don't think there's an easy way to get through this. So let's just
Keep
keep
going.
going.
That
Keep
one.
going.
So apparently, according to the testimony,
right.
allegedly, Diddy would then reach his hand inside of Cassie.
Cool.
Oh, man.
This is long. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to describe. I don't know why I'm the old guy in this.
Come on, bro.
Well,
Keep
the crazy
going.
thing is, this is happening in court. They're talking about this.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
like,
are.
We can't even
Yeah.
talk.
So Diddy would dig in.
Dig in. Why you gotta say it like that?
Jesus.
I mean,
Scoop it out.
I feel like he had a bid.
he would scoop.
Extract.
He would scoop the goop.
Extract is a great
He would scoop the goop. And then, after doing that, he would rub it on his nipples and chest area.
His own.
Damn. On him?
Yes.
This nigga Diddy a freaky ass nigga, bro.
Well, Cassie
This
was
is a
just
complete
container at
fan
this
right
point.
here, bro.
She was the container, but I thought she was also the transporter.
She did transport certain things, but there was a specific moment in the trial where Diddy reached his hand in, dipped out, and rubbed it on himself.
Oh man.
So,
Like, I mean,
can we?
And at this point,
How long do we have to be mature?
I
don't think any of this-
I'm
podcast,
never
man.
ever.
I don't think
This is
any
your
of this is
podcast.
mature.
I don't know.
I think we passed the point of mature.
I tried really hard to relay the legal information in the most.
That is okay. That is the legal information.
it's hard to get any of
In
those things
the,
out.
in the court of public opinion,
That shit weird.
He's a weirdo, bro.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying the whole time. I just wanted to understand of what was going on. I'm like, as long as he didn't touch, if him and Diddy didn't touch, they straight. This nigga just thinks of shit and goes, yeah, let's do it.
I think when it comes to him, man,
He's got too much money, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of celebrities now, they got so much money to the point where, like, and they do so much shit. Sex becomes, like, regular sex becomes boring to them. And they go, we got to have to spice this up.
we
got to turn this up a little bit. We can't be having regular people sex. We not regular people.
I think
for sure. It definitely is a power thing. I just feel like when it comes to this whole situation, I feel like, yeah, it's interesting because it's like the defense is not that he didn't do all these things. It's like no, like he's like the defense is acknowledging he is.
So at this point in the trial, we understand what he's done.
He didn't do these specific charges, which is like human trafficking, which like.
But that brings it back.
So what he'll say,
they're shooting too far.
Yeah. So what he'll say is that his defense, that is, will say that okay, yes, we did engage in these freak-offs. A lot of wild things happened, but these were all consensual to like Cassie because like she like enjoyed these
which is
freak-offs.
Actually the defense's whole thing because Cassie had her testimony last week and the whole kind of
and it didn't there was no smoking gun with her and
because the whole
we're early in the case.
This is going on for a while, for sure.
But we're early in the
How
case.
long?
But like the only reason she went first, by the way, is because she's 8.5 months pregnant. So like people are like skipping over that part. Like,
the whole thing
got
about
her out of the way.
The whole thing about
I didn't
it
know
too.
that part of it actually.
The whole thing about it for her too is the fact that the whole defense argument of that was, but you were also involved, and her thing was like, yeah, it was kind of forced, but the whole defense was like, no, you initiated some of this,
or you were at least
an active participant.
Yeah.
This is where the gray area comes in because one thing that I do know to be true of a lot of these types of situations is, I mean, it's not as easy to remove yourself from an abusive relationship as it seems,
right.
Such as the video of her running to the elevator in the hotel. And so how much of that is true on either end, I think there's no proving how gray that area actually is.
That's the defense's whole case. The defense's whole case is that yes, he beat her. Yes, he is a POS.
But it's not a federal case.
But every single freak off that ever happened, there's no proof of her being forced to participate.
Yes, and the whole defense, like you said, the whole defense.
That's the defense.
The whole defense is like,
defense isn't great.
He's a weird dude, but he didn't do anything that was not consensual. There was nothing that was a federal crime.
There's nothing.
Because the whole thing about it,
there's no
to
text. There's no text. There's no video call where Diddy is like, Cassie, I want you to do this, and she's like, no, and then he forced her to do it.
Well, also, Chris. To be fair, it's not just that.
But to go to Chris's point, sorry, real quick. To go to Chris's point, like yes, like domestic abuse is a very real thing, and so that you often, even when it's not like court provable, you often like cater yourself to the person that you're
which,
in
again,
a relationship with.
Or you do it unwillingly,
yes,
and in the
court of law, they have to prove that she was forced. But they can't necessarily
not
prove
just
that.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that's also the problem beyond the Diddy and Cassie case, which is obviously like national news, down to regular cases of of rape and whatever, and all of these things, as terrible as these things are, the problem is that the only proof in any of that lies in an immediate rape kit that you get done by the police or whatever, and that's the only way to actually be able to prove that this happened, if that was unconsensual and whatever. And like, that's the hard thing about this case, because I personally do believe it to be true, and I do believe that I'm not saying that maybe she was into it at a time, maybe she realized it was fucked up after a while, whatever, but that's the fucking catch-22 of these types of cases. Is it's so hard to prove what's true and what's not.
I believe that she participated in these events, sometimes willingly, sometimes not.
Which I think sometimes not is enough to make it not okay.
Right.
One time not.
And one time is not okay. But can it be proven that that one time exists?
Exactly.
Like, is there documentation, whether it be video, whether it be text, whether it be audio, of her being like, I don't want to do this, and Diddy being like, shut up, bitch, you're doing this? And truth be told, that hasn't been presented yet. Now, I think that ultimately, how Diddy is viewed, I feel like this case is going to go in favor of the prosecution. But in terms of the actual legality of it, again, I'm not saying that those.
It's a harder case to fight.
It's a lot. The prosecution set themselves up to where they went for the glory. They went for the we're trying to nail this person we're trying to get Diddy triple life sentence.
And that's also I feel like that's a mistake.
That was their arrogance.
That's a mistake, is to go at it with essentially the one of the highest charges that you could ever have in the United States of America is sex trafficking, and especially a RICO involving sex trafficking. Those two things independently are the hardest things to fight in general. Look at the Young Thug case. Look at everything. Not to mention the fact that they're combined together. You in a sense, you set yourself up for failure. But it's like, I get they're trying to pin him at the highest accountability.
Yes, they're trying to give him away forever.
But you may be approaching this from the wrong angle, because that's really, although I'm almost positive that shit happened too. But right now on the surface,
in the court of law,
get it to a point that
common sense in the court of law, different things. That
it's provable on or it's on a small, like, I don't want to say sexual assault is a smaller scale. None of this shit is okay. That's bottom fucking line.
Yep.
But the thing is like, that's easier to get a conviction of than it is sex trafficking. And they're going for the gold. And in a sense, I'm not saying, again, this is nothing against it. I do think he did this shit personally, but that's also the government trying to say, we're going to make an example. And that is, I feel like, of course, the government is trying to go above their means to try and make an example of somebody. Wow, we've never heard this before, right? You know what I mean? It's like, you don't go that high, because all that shit could come up down the line too. Like, that's the thing. I feel like in this case, I'm no fucking lawyer, but it's like, start small and aim high. You know what I mean? Like, so, because right now, if he gets off with his sex trafficking conviction, it's like probably raps for this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then he can continue to be a menace or whatever.
You can retry like the civil part of it about like, the domestic abuse and whatever, and he can agree to settle. And it's like, that's it. Like, that's it. That's done.
But I think the amount, if he was being charged, because right now, the sexual abuse things are just testimony. They're not charges.
Right.
So all of the cases of sexual abuse, if they charged him for sexual abuse rather than sex trafficking, all of these things would add into the conviction. That's not a payoff. That's you're going to fucking jail no matter what.
This is gonna get real serious as soon as they put Justin Bieber on the stand.
Him, I don't think Usher would go up, but Usher
Bieber's
too.
not gonna testify.
I don't know if Usher would go up.
Usher's not testifying.
Bieber, Usher, Meek Mill, and all of them are not testifying.
Bieber might. Bieber
He's
could.
not. He already said he's not.
Hey, Bieber is.
I don't know.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation, and we're not the podcast to have that. But Bieber's been wild.
I personally think that everyone's overreacting to the way because I don't think he's acting that wild. He's just posting videos, silly videos online here and there. Like, I don't really think it's as serious as everyone says.
He ain't tripping, but I can definitely see he's a little erratic.
He's a little erratic, but not anymore. I've seen
he chill. No, he just really just be chilling.
I've seen other celebrities that people think their head is on their shoulders that have been way more wild than he's being right now.
Plus, everybody keep talking about his girl, and he's just tired of it.
Yeah, he's like, can y'all shut the fuck up, my mom? Yeah, no. I mean, Bieber, I feel like would be the damning evidence. Honestly, but I don't think that he is going to. I mean, I don't know. Well, he could. He could. I don't know, but that's the thing. If he's on this like erratic thing right now, maybe his mind changes. I don't know. I'm no lawyer. I ain't Diddy, so I don't fucking know it. I don't know any of this shit technically, but I know what I think.
We'll see. We're not gonna dive into it, but
yeah, this ain't the Diddy cave.
The Drake. And the Drake lawsuit, again.
Here it comes.
It is very funny. Like, honestly, no matter what side you're on, whether you're an OVO or you're a K-bot, doesn't matter.
Why would you do it like that?
Because
you're an OVO
or a K-bot.
They're both disgusting.
Those are their respective.
I get it.
This shit is fucking hilarious, dog.
Shit get crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
The way they disrespect each other is fucking hilarious. But we're not gonna get into that because we'll see. There was a third party that like claimed to that is like we're speaking as a third party objective and we believe that this case will end. So we'll see. But I'm not gonna get into that. Because we've done enough legal stuff.
I was just going to say,
raise your hand.
I was going to do one last legal thing.
Go
and this goes back into the thing we were just talking about before. There is a difference between civil
cases.
There's a difference between state, local, and the difference between federal. Right now,
it's a federal case.
Diddy's on a federal case, and the problem that their prosecutors are running into is that they're running into a lot of civil shit that they can prove. They aren't running into a federal thing that they can prove.
And this proving civil shit doesn't matter in this case.
It doesn't matter because it's a federal case.
He could have, it's not, this wouldn't be a civil case. He could have robbed a bank separately, but this isn't what he's being charged for. Like,
exactly. And so it's
the sex trafficking thing.
And when we move it back to Drake, the problem is Drake is getting a lot of whatever evidence he feels like he's getting, but it's not on the scale because there is a big difference in law between
a civil case,
local, and federal.
Yes.
And for instance, if I were trying to sue any of y'all right now, I wouldn't want to sue you federally because I can't prove that you guys have committed a federal crime.
The burden is so much heavier.
The burden is so much heavier.
The law changes between federal law, state law.
Well, it's also like he was saying, the burden of proof. So the problem that we're running into right now with the Diddy case, with the Drake case, is the fact that there's a higher standard of like proof of doubt that you need to prove depending on whatever case it is. Diddy may get off, not because he was innocent, because Diddy clearly did this shit. It's the fact that, is this a federal RICO trial or not?
Yeah, like no matter whatever you believe, the law works how the law works. Because they're doing this RICO trial shit, which like I think was the dumbest angle to fucking take.
No, it's the best angle if you want to get him to actually, because
if you want to put him away for life, but I think they did it before everything was solidified.
It's the problem that happened with Young Thug.
Exactly.
Because Young Thug clearly like, yo, we can't prove that your YSL was an actual gang.
Yeah, right.
The problem that we're about to realize with the Drake Kendrick thing as well is the fact that, yo, You can prove that, yes, this man humiliates you on the Super Bowl. But
Can you prove
that rap lyrics are an admission
Costed
of
you money?
Yeah, no, not only that.
That's
can
why
we
they got
prove
rid of that
rap lyric.
That's why the Trump administration got rid of that one Mexican dude. 'Cause they was like, yeah, he's from MS-13, and they was like, prove it.
It's the thing, though. It's like, can you prove that these rap lyrics
I
were
didn't mean to bring
said
politics in it.
as truth? Because in
that's
any
been the
music,
historic thing with rap music.
any music, you can say what you want because that's part of the music.
You claim it.
It's the freedom of speech.
Because-
It's going to be
because
a First Amendment right versus actual factual information.
Because the easiest thing goes to like it's storytelling. You know, is whatever author being arrested for the story that he wrote about this.
Right.
You know, and obviously like
The Great Gatsby then in this hypothetical will be arrested because let's be honest, that was not how 1920s New York was.
Fuck no.
So we'd be doing the same thing. And I know, again, like I said, I'm sorry about derailing conversation. I know we got other stuff to get to. But from a legal aspect, what we're doing is we're playing with a lot of fire in terms of what is actually true and what is actually allowed to be said as a point.
I do want
that's
some.
where the smart motherfuckers like you are welcome on the podcast.
I do want some clarification on what level the Drake lawsuit and the Diddy. So the Diddy lawsuit is at the federal level. So is it like Sean Combs versus the United States?
It is Sean Puffy Combs versus the United States.
Versus the United States.
Oh,
He has a RICO charge. It was the same thing that happened to
Nigga's
Young
about to be
Thug.
in the literal history book, bro. No, you know what's
They sent
crazy?
his
And I was
ass
thinking
to
about this
Bermuda.
past weekend. I was like, bro, I think about it in like 1,000, like 100 years from now, we're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is where we get the term Diddy from, because this fucking asshole of an individual was just running through everybody in Hollywood.
Because bro, kids are already using that term as like no Diddy.
Because
Like,
it's
No Diddy. That's what we like. 100 years from now, I'll be like, no.
I would say this: if I were the New York prosecutor, I would try to get him on a civil suit first to make him pay, and then hit him with a criminal.
Yes.
Right now, they're doing the exact opposite. They're trying to hit him on a federal RICO, and that is the hardest shit to prove.
It's if I'm not wrong, it's one of the hardest defenses to or prosecutions to prove. Like
a
in
federal
the whole
RICO
country.
is the same thing that they tried to get
Young
John with Thug. They tried to get John Gotti.
Gotti,
this
yeah.
is the same level of
It's organized crime. Is what
It's
it is.
organized crime.
Yeah.
A RICO trial is meant for organized crime.
So you
Which
might be
can I
biting
say
off more
something
than
real
you can
quick?
chew.
Like trying to charge Young Thug for a RICO charge is crazy.
Right?
Because the thing is like, however much is true and isn't hard to say, but I genuinely think there reaches a point of stardom that this shit ain't, but
We are reaching a lot, but that being said, for the Rap Cave, Platte, what we got next?
Wait, so, what last thing? What level is the Kendrick? Because Drake is suing UMG, correct?
Correct.
So that would be a local.
Federal- he's doing it in
that
federal
is a
court.
federal. That's a federal court case. Mm-hmm. Well, already doesn't help he's Canadian, so
Is not going to win because of that.
But he's following legally from Texas
yes.
because he has a Texas residency.
he does. Yeah, he has a spot in Houston, right?
Drake better be careful. He could
just
start
got
a
that.
whole ass
Atlanta,
war.
Vegas. But Platte, tell us more about what we got today.
Well,
He's like, that'll be
podcast-
everybody.
This podcast isn't all about court.
I hope
and
not.
Oh, it's not?
all of that bullshit.
Shout out Science Court. Remember that?
Shout out Bill Nye, science
No.
guy. Fuck it.
I remember that.
Shout out.
I know what I'm talking
Science
about.
court. I'm gonna have to listen.
You know what I'm
so
talking
look,
about.
there
Put
was
on-
there was
put me
good
on that.
music. It was a light week. It was a light week. So shout out Boldy who dropped an album. A couple people dropped singles.
Dope album, too.
This
I mean,
man
compared
keeps
to
just
everything else
keep
that
letting
dropped,
it fly,
that was the
bro.
most. That was my most listened to new album.
Bro got an album a month.
I made
Boldy's.
the conscious decision to not listen to it because Boldy, like,
you
slow.
hate?
No, I love Boldy. Relax. But slow the fuck down. I'm going to listen to it, but I'm like, bro, like,
You listened to his shit 2 weeks ago, right?
that's what I mean. Is like how
So-
how different is it going to be? You know what I mean?
What I'm What I'm saying is this: is that yes, there was a lot of new music. We acknowledge the new music that dropped. However, it was a light week in terms of new music. But there was something that really lit the streets on fire, and that we have to talk about. Because I tried to tell you guys for weeks. I tried to tell you guys about what is brewing, what is happening, and what is going to happen. And we saw it transpire this week. So last week we talked about on the podcast, you weren't here.
Respectfully,
was the Cypher with Red Bull, right? The Cypher with Red Bull happened.
We talked about
Joey
it. It was
Badass.
Absol, Big Sean, and Joey Badass.
Absol and Big Sean, who disappointed me greatly.
yeah, me and you, we watched that cipher together. I did see it, but I just wasn't here.
So that transpired a whole plethora of diss tracks.
To the point, it's
To the point where
almost
it was,
impossible to keep up with.
Impossible to keep up with. I did, because
I appreciate you,
I'm that
brother,
sicko.
because you told me literally every time some new shit dropped.
every time.
And I will say, shout out to Elliott Wilson for
Shout out
fucking
to Elliott Wilson,
compartmentalizing every single song that has
Shout
came
out to
out from
Elliott
here
Wilson.
into a YouTube playlist so you can go back and listen to them.
Chronological order. I enjoyed that greatly.
That just proves that he's one of the GOATs.
He is one of the
He's a
goats
goat.
when it comes to journalism. I've been a never mind.
You a go
It's
too,
not-
Chris.
it's not-
You
it's not
a
gonna be-
go
It's not
too.
gonna be an Elliott Wilson
You a go
conversation.
too.
Well, yes, I am, but that wasn't where I was going with that.
Well, too bad.
but-
That's where we took it.
Appreciate it. So look. So what happened is, Daylyt stepped out. Reason stepped out. AZ Trike, Ray Vaughn, Joey Badass. A whole bunch of people stepped out.
Hit a J3.
Hit a J3. A whole bunch of people
Out
dropped.
of nowhere.
A whole bunch of people
Nick
stepped
Caution
out.
from Pro Era stepped out. Yeah,
Yes, he
Right.
did.
We
Crazy.
can keep naming people because again, there's damn near 30 tracks that happened. Because Elliott Wilson, as much as I love him, there was a few songs that he left out, and I get it, they were like smaller people, like K Cash, like there was like a few people that like.
Yo, Kitty Cash actually had one of the best ones.
Yes. So like I want to shout him out. So shout out to him. But I want to go with this. I want to go with this because the battle happened. It's over.
Is it? Is it?
Is it though?
It's 100% over.
Who wins?
100% over. Oh,
I
we
got
can have
some
that discussion.
I got some
Because
questions for you then.
I got several questions.
I
and we're
feel like
gonna-
it's not. It was only a week. I don't think it's over.
And we're gonna go in order. I got several questions. 1, was it entertaining? 2, how much did Joey really prove? 3, did Joey earn a shot at Kendrick? 4, what other battles would you like to see? So, we had the Diddy trial, but we also had some other friction
A lot of friction.
in this rap battle.
A lot of bumping and grinding.
I don't see nothing wrong.
And it was Joey versus West Coast. And shout out to Elliott Wilson, by the way. Shout out to Elliott Wilson for chronologically stamping.
Elliott's a real one for
rounds.
them.
Most of the rap.
Those
He-
tweets
he
were
missed a
on
few.
point.
He missed a few, but I'm not blaming the ones he missed.
And I think he is one of the most like respectable hip hop journalists. Honestly, like he does his thing.
I love Elliott Wilson,
He loves this shit.
but he's on some bullshit these days. But I respect Elliott Wilson. He's
trying his best to give us.
He's let go of the journalism. He's lessened his focus on being a journalist and more a personality.
He a
content
fan. He a
creator.
fan. He a fan. He a fan. He a fan. He.
Like the whole dot era shit. Like he knows what he's doing with that. But anyways, this is not an Elliot Wilson discussion. This is a rap battle discussion because we had a rap battle. Nick kicked off with the Red Bull Cypher that we talked about last week that you weren't here for, that I spent 45 minutes berating Big Sean, and I stand by everything that I said, and I doubled down on it off of the fact I doubled down on it because you know what I didn't say in all those 45 minutes where I was yelling.
What did you not say? What did you not say?
How bad has Kanye disrespected him over the last several years?
Oh my God!
No, hold up.
Okay,
I also didn't know this conversation happened. For one, Big Sean fucking smoked on that cipher. What are you talking about?
I was in the same
Facts.
thing. Big Sean is crazy. What are you talking
It was
about?
a good cipher. It's that J. Cole shit.
Yeah,
And I love. Listen,
Big Sean tries and then he gets outshined. That happens, but that doesn't mean Big Sean ain't cold.
Listen, I know you love them too, so I'm not downplaying what you're saying. But you know that in this room, nobody loves Big Sean and J. Cole more than me.
Okay, sir.
But both of them, Charmin Tissue, Ultra Soft.
Who give a fuck about what Kanye think? And this is like that fucking Dave Chappelle skit.
Yeah.
Who give a fuck what Ja Rule think at a time like this? Who give a fuck about what Kanye think right now?
Yeah.
I don't ever need to hear Kanye anymore for the rest of my goddamn life.
Yeah.
Or sorry.
I'm not
I
saying
love
that.
Kanye West. I don't ever need to hear Ye.
I'm not looking to what
I don't
Ye
even hear
says.
Ye ever again in my goddamn
I'm not
life.
looking to what Ye says, and we're gonna get to the rap battle. So I'm not
I
gonna
know
make
we
this a
are.
long conversation.
But yeah, Sean didn't need to address
But
that.
no, Sean absolutely.
He needed to address the Nazi? No, he doesn't.
No.
That's like a
It's
fly
not
in my
that.
goddamn
It's
apartment.
not
I don't
that.
address that
It's
shit.
It's the fact that Kanye West said, "Oh,
No.
I should put on my tombstone."
No,
Big
not
Sean.
Kanye West. That's some Ye shit. And Ye is a piece of shit. Fuck him. Fuck everyone who love him. And fuck his opinions. I don't need to hear about another goddamn thing you got to say.
Okay, so if
I don't care about-
if a motherfucker
I don't care about
disrespects
him.
you with the big platform that Kanye West has, because no matter how much we hate all the bullshit he's doing, he has a big platform.
Ye-
and a motherfucker with that platform, you're telling me if somebody with that platform,
Yes. I will say that to your
the
face
way-
right now. I'm about to turn 35.
You don't
Motherfucker, I don't care
You don't deserve
about
the
some
response.
motherfuckers
Well,
who
then
don't
guess
deserve
what?
my attention.
You're grown.
I am. And he is too.
And that is not what rap is supposed to be.
No, that's what the fuck it is supposed to be. Because if someone don't,
It comes in
like
many shapes and
Azealia
sizes.
Banks, when Azealia Banks made fun of Rihanna didn't have to respond. Why? Because she's fucking Rihanna. Who gives a fuck about what Azealia Banks think at a time like this? Who gives a fuck about what Ja Rule think
not a
at a
good
time like
comparison.
this?
That's
That is
not a
not
good comparison.
But
because Kanye is the one that is popping.
No, not anymore. Kanye used to be popping. Kanye right now,
Yeah, he's
Ye
still- he's
is
still
a
15K
piece of
on
He
that.
shit.
was still.
Kanye's last album did more than what Big Sean's last album did.
it did fit.
Look at the numbers.
It
Like,
did
who-
Big
15K.
Sean's last album,
Because
and I
he-
love Big Sean. No, hold on.
No, let's
Hold on.
finish.
Mute up. Big Sean's last album did nothing numbers wise.
Neither did Kanye. It was
Kanye's
15K.
did more than that.
It was 15K.
Which Kanye are we talking about?
That's like
the
shit
one he
Coop
released 2
argued.
weeks ago. Remember, Kanye just dropped an album that nobody gave a fuck about,
Nobody gave a fuck about the Big Sean album that dropped except me.
except
Now,
I
listen,
did.
Listen, who cares?
I liked it.
Who cares? I love it too. I love it.
Big Sean did more
Boundaries is
numbers
one of
than
my
Kanye's
favorite
last
songs
one.
that
He
ever
does not
existed
need to respond
in
to
the
Kanye
history-
West, though.
In the history, no.
Nobody
does.
needs to respond to Kanye. Leave
He
Kanye
does.
out of
Shut
all
his hoe
hip-hop
ass up.
conversations at this
He
point.
does the way that Kanye has continually disrespected him. And Big
bro,
Sean,
that's like the homeless man's on the.
It goes back to my point. It's the same reason I'm frustrated with J. Cole. It's the same reason that I love J. Cole. I
Okay.
love Big Sean. They're great humans. I love them. I would die to hang out with Big Sean or J. Cole. Why? Because I think I would personally, I would have a great time hanging out with them, talking hip hop, just chilling.
Can I
living
ask you a
life,
question?
Because they're great. Let me finish.
Eat.
Big Sean is in a situation where Kanye called him out consistently, disrespected him consistently at a high level, and we all know that Kanye, despite his flaws, he is a great shit talker.
He is a terrible person.
And yes. I'm not
Kanye West is great. Ye is a shitty person.
Let him cook. Let
me cook.
You're telling me that you got nothing to say off of that? Fuck that. I was screaming all last week. All last week. Okay. The Absol, Joey Badass, East vs. West, ha. Tongue in cheek, ha. Somebody should stand up and say, fuck that. Detroit versus everybody. That's all I needed Big Sean to say. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. And that got me frustrated, right? But then I delved a layer deeper. And a layer deeper, he took a shot. I wrote for your goats. Whatever. Cool. Guess what? You wrote Graduation. You wrote 808s. Cool. Guess what? Whoop-de-fucking-do, Big Sean. This guy just shit on you. You don't got nothing to say other than I wrote this shit for you?
You might be
Big Sean.
Because he's above that.
Disrespect him.
Because he's above that. Maybe he
No,
doesn't.
fuck that.
Why
Fuck that.
Why do you want everyone to hate each other, dog?
Kanye is already down, bro. There's no point. It's like it's almost laughable to even say anything.
Yeah,
Leave that man alone.
He's got broken legs. I'm not going to break his arm,
Can I
too.
piggyback off what you just said? Here's the deal. I live in Detroit. Every day. I'm born and raised in Detroit. I go to a lot of sporting events, and there's always some bum on the side of the street who try to start yelling at me about some shit. You think I engage with that motherfucker? No. Because guess what? I'm above that shit. I don't have to worry about that motherfucker. Kanye is the fucking homeless, pieced out, rained on ass bum on the street at this point. Kanye is a genius.
No,
Ye is a fucking bum
now,
on the street. And guarantee I'm not spending my goddamn time, wasting my goddamn time on that bum ass Negro.
I don't think he deserves that energy anymore, personally.
I'm saying also, Kanye is not great. He's not great in any way, shape, or form. He's nothing, bro. Talent wise, he's done, bro.
Kanye
Is still Kanye. No matter what you say, no matter what you think,
bitch.
Kanye is still Kanye. Ye, whichever one. He's still a great.
I just think okay. Let me like we'll get to the battle after because this wasn't supposed to be a long conversation.
I know.
But no, this is a good conversation. So I'm not mad at it. The thing about Big Sean is that okay, you're right. Okay, if you wanna, I'll disagree, but I'll respect that opinion of okay, Kanye is wild and whatever. Pay him no mind. Cool. It just. Can you guys acknowledge that it looks different from the person that never fought nobody?
No. I can't acknowledge that because you trying to compare him to a Negro.
He never fought nobody.
I don't need him to.
Never fought nobody.
Why does he need to?
Kanye's never successfully fought anybody either.
Hold on.
Kanye has never successfully won a rap beef.
Facts.
That's the deal.
Hold up.
I'm not saying that Kanye has. I'm always speaking on Big Sean's character.
Hold on.
I'm always speaking on.
Why does Big Sean need to though?
He's being the bigger man.
He's being the bigger man, but you gotta understand. You gotta understand the simple fact of if you don't ever have a point where you are tested and proven, then it just looks like you're a bitch. So while Sean can take the high road, in this situation with Kanye, and I ain't even mad if he does. The reason it looks away is because we've never seen Sean get after it with anybody.
Do you punch?
Sean has always
That's not
been
his
peaceful.
character.
Chris, do you punch a homeless person that's in your way who's talking shit? Because that's what Kanye is right now. That's basically what the fuck Kanye is.
I have punched a homeless person.
No, but
that's what he is. He's
look,
the
man.
fucking man yelling at clouds. He's the
Listen,
fucking
but
Simpsons
look.
character.
Here's the thing. He's not even talking about Kanye at this point. All he's worried about is the fact that
I don't need Big Sean to fight.
Big Sean
doesn't want to battle with nobody.
He didn't defend himself.
Yeah.
And I do understand that.
He didn't get attacked. He didn't get attacked. He don't have to defend himself. He didn't get attacked.
He's gotten attacked with Kanye, and the issue.
Fuck Kanye West. No, Kanye don't matter. Okay, fuck Kanye West.
Okay, fine. Kanye doesn't matter. But the reason it looks away is because we never seen you. It's the same principle as somebody that's never been in a fight.
We need Durad
somebody that's never been in a fight right now, and I know Durad would 100% agree with me right now.
Birdie, rather.
He didn't last week.
That's fine. That's fine.
Just saying.
It's a new week.
Look, the thing is like now.
No,
what I'm
saying. Sorry, I'm gonna toss to you. Yeah. Let me just say it in one sentence so it's clear. That, okay, I get if you want to ignore Kanye because of the bullshit that he is on right now, right? That's fair. But the reason a Big Sean confrontation or lack thereof looks away is because there's never been a Big Sean confrontation. There's never been that fight where you prove that, oh, you have that dog in you. It's consistently been you tuck your tail. That is the issue. It's not that Kanye deserves the time and attention. It's not that. That's fine. If you want to ignore Kanye because he's on some stupid, ignorant shit, that's fine. I'm fair. I'm good with that. But the reason I can look at you away is because I've never seen you stand up.
But not everybody has to. That's not the point of music. That's not the point of hip hop.
Exactly.
Is the history of hip hop ingrained in beef and testing abilities? Yes. But how many fucking other rappers do we love that have never been battle tested?
I love the Yin Yang Twins. No one fucks with the Yin Yang Twins.
I love Smino. People aren't battle testing. Like, the thing is like, not everybody needs to be on that level. Now, do I think, which I actually didn't catch that bar that you mentioned about, I wrote for some of your greats. That was in the Cypher?
Yeah.
So I didn't catch that. What I will say is that, Sean, don't dip your toes in the water if you're not going to go all the way in, because at the same time, if he didn't bring it up, it could have been fine. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter realistically if you're battle tested or not. Are you a good rapper? And this is why I think like I do enjoy this. This
man got some bass in his voice right now.
I enjoy this beef shit, right? Like it's fun, it's interesting, it keeps things fresh. It keeps everybody interested.
Right.
Whatever. Right? But at the same time, I don't like that being the end-all, be-all for rap music. So what? There could be 6 rappers and nobody else? Like, that's what it is? It's like the 6 people, whoever wins, and then what? Everybody else is just set to the wayside. So, like, the thing is, I like Big Sean independently from this shit. I like him because I enjoy his music. And this is why I feel like all this beef shit... Like, okay, when it was Biggie and Pac, or when it was fucking Jay and Nas, right? That was one thing. When it's spread this far, we're losing the music. This isn't music anymore. This isn't about music. Y'all are making this shit personal.
Well, yeah, they're smart about it because they're right now, like, the one way to get big is beefs. That's why this whole thing is going on. Everybody's just like, fuck, we just want to start some shit.
It's like
I'm just trying to get known.
They're starting. If you're in a train station, where's your attention going to go if there's a fight happening next to you?
Well,
it's going to go to the fight happening next to you.
This is what I was actually going to ask Platte. So, Platte, right now, we just saw last week Joey Badass basically take on the entire West Coast.
Manhandle the West Coast.
Can you tell me what your view of that is?
So, okay. So, again, I got several questions that I'm going to toss to everybody. And these are the questions. Was this battle entertaining? How much did Joey really prove?
Not that much.
Did Joey earn a shot with Kendrick?
No.
And what other battles would you like to see? And
a lot.
Let's walk through this, right? Let's walk through this. We're not going to highlight every record because there was 30 records. We're not going to go through all of them.
I think let's circle per point.
Yes.
And yeah.
So let's just start with the simple question of the battle happened. I would think that it is foolish to go around the room and say who won. I think that the winner is very clear. If somebody wants to disagree, that's fine. So I think we can skip that question
We'll just
and
say,
we can
we'll
go
say
to
who you think the winner is.
Joe.
I think it's Joey too.
I would have to give it to Joe. Just on the very fact that it was like all of the West Coast
You
versus
disagree?
him.
This was a real 20v1
Oh yeah.
as opposed to Drake's 20. This
Okay.
was a for
And
real
Joey held his
20v1.
own, so I'm saying like it was
And
Joey versus
and
all
Joey
of them.
doesn't have industry backing. He doesn't have people writing for him. He doesn't have like and did this all
He has
did,
industry. He has industry backing. Now I'm not gonna say
Not-
it's on the level
not-
of a
not like
pop star.
Drake.
No, I'm not. Yes, obviously.
he has
But-
minimal industry backing. Not that much.
I think you could hear the difference in the way, for example, the way like AZ Trike's record versus Joey Badass's records. You could hear every single word Joey Badass was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That is not because AZ Trike didn't speak clearly into a microphone. That is mixing. That is production. That is.
It was because it felt like it mattered
Right.
more in a
So-
sense. Yeah, I see that.
No,
I can
no,
see
no.
that.
So yeah, like there's like Joey's engineer is better than AZ Trike's engineer.
His production,
Right.
his
Now
yeah.
I'm not taking away from Joey for that, you know.
But
Again,
I'll separate that also from industry push and like
yeah, it wasn't set up to
just
where, like,
general
Joey
resources.
should- it wasn't like oh we want Joey to win. It's
Yeah.
just more so Joey has better connects because
He's been
in the
around
business
longer.
and
Yeah.
he's established.
I'll
And so-
give you that, but
that's-
not an industry push.
Right.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
So what I want to say is this, because like I sat back and I thought about like, okay, how impressive is this Joey win? Like how impressive
It's
is
not
it?
that great.
And I thought about it, and you know what? Like I really thought about it. I dig through the history, and I am when I heard all the records, I was very impressed with Joey. Like Joey brought his shit. He stepped it up every single time that he came to the mic. He stepped up and he elevated. And
somebody said to me too is that like this is the first time they've heard Joey Badass sound like fucking hungry
yeah, hungry, right?
in a long time. Yeah.
And so I appreciate that. But on the other hand,
Bryce is talking with his hands.
on
right
the
now.
other hand, as much as I appreciated Joey Badass doing his thing with these records, how much does this win really mean? Because okay, look, like, did he have a bunch of people jumping at him? Yes. Did he respond to each and every one of them? Yes.
Did he start it? Yes.
Did he start it? No, I don't even
He
care. I
started
don't even
all
care.
this
I don't
shit.
even
No,
care.
but I'm just saying.
I don't even. Yes.
But that's something
factual.
to consider.
That's factual.
That's something to consider
That's factual.
about this because
don't-
it was he dropped the initial song "The Ruler's Back" on
Right.
New Year's Day. That's where this started.
I genuinely, you're right, and I guess that is a fair factor to evaluate.
It's just-
that's not,
it's a
that's
fact
not even
of
going.
this.
That's not even going in my factor of like
Right.
evaluation.
But that is just a fact of
yes,
this.
yes. So like Joey did this, right? And I think of all these rappers, and I think of like all these rap beefs that have happened, and I think of like, okay, like Joey was supposed to win this battle, absolutely, because there was nobody like Ray Vaughn wasn't supposed to beat Joey.
He never
Daylyt was never supposed to beat Joey.
Is it exposure for them?
Hitta J3
Well, not-
wasn't supposed to
Daylyt, but
beat Joey. But I correlate that to the Drake versus Meek Mill beef. Right? Of like, okay, Okay, that's a different equation because people were like doubting Drake. I wasn't at the time, but people were doubting Drake because Meek's a battle rapper, so Meek is definitely gonna win. I knew Drake was gonna win. Doesn't matter. The fact that Drake won that battle so decisively is a point in Drake's cap versus Joey Badass.
It's a badge on his sleeve, yeah.
So yes, Joey was supposed to win all of these battles. Joey was better than all of these motherfuckers that stepped up to the plate, right? And we'll get into who didn't step up to the plate that I'm very disappointed in. But Joey handled everybody. But the fact that he handled them so clearly, so decisively, is still impressive. So yes, it's like beating that competition that's below you, but dominating them to where it's not that it's not impressive, because it is. It is impressive that you dominated the competition that you were supposed to.
But it's like pushing a little kid down at the playground, kind of, in a sense. Like
It was
with some of certain people.
But I'm giving him credit because he made them look like little kids.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to be little kids, but he made them look like it. Like versus a situation where if it was like, say Ray Vaughn, who I thought did well in this battle. Say if him and Ray Vaughn went at it, and it was like 50% of people said that Joey won, 50% of people said Ray Vaughn won. That's an L for Joey. Why? Because you were supposed to dominate Ray Vaughn. You're the person that's established. You were supposed to beat the fuck out of Ray Vaughn. And so that's
although he did, it was still close.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he did that. He did that. So that's why I give Joey his flowers on this battle, is because there's not many people I see other than like certain super stans that are saying Joey didn't win. Like, Joey unanimously won in the court of public opinion.
In the court of public opinion, Bryce,
Joey unanimously won.
Everybody unanimously has pretty much agreed that Joey has won.
We can get into disagreements, but that's my point in this. In that, okay, Joey played a competition that was below him, right? So you're supposed to.
No,
win.
it was not below. I'm sorry. I've been holding my tongue this
Well,
whole time. It was not below him. That is Joey Badass's fucking element right there. He is not a fucking top god MC. That is his element right there.
We're not agreeing with that. But.
No, I will say, I agree in the simple fact of, like, look.
He's not the best to ever do
it.
I think we know
Joey Bass
He's not even good to do it.
He won't.
No, he's extremely good to do it.
He is what he is.
He won't admit it, and Joey fans won't admit it. But he is closer to Ray Vaughn than he is to Kendrick.
Yeah. I agree with that. 100%.
That motherfucker close. Like, Mick Jenkins is way better of an MC than
that's only
Joey Badass.
That only works well for Ray Vaughn too.
Which is funny because you know
Ray
what
Vaughn
though?
was like a nobody until recently, and now he's up.
I saw Mick Jenkins tweeted this week. He just said, "LOL, I can't keep up." I thought that was so funny because Mick Jenkins, in my opinion, could slaughter everybody in this.
Mick Jenkins had one of the best diss tracks off of Vic Spencer when he did Head Ass, and that
Vic
was
Mensa?
No, not Vic Mensa, Vic Spencer.
I don't even know who that is.
When he did Head Ass, and that was some Chicago person y'all never heard of, because Mick Jenkins fucking washed him on a beat real quick.
That's why I thought it was Vic Mensa because it's also Chicago. But
no, Vic Spencer.
No. Look,
he had a K-Tronada beat and ended a man on a K-Tronada beat. Ended his whole rap career. That's the best.
On a K-Tronada beat
is crazy.
On a K-Tronada beat is nuts. We'll show it to you.
Imagine somebody ending a career on the K-Tronada beat.
But the thing is,
It's a good way to go out.
We'll have to. No, I think we got to inform him on K-Tronada. Anyway,
It's a good way to go out.
So, point being, look, I have been a huge Joey Badass fan since before you were, Platte. Like, I've been fucking.
Ooh.
No, that's 100% true. He knows that too.
I've
been a huge Joey Badass
on
fan.
your head.
I'm just instigating.
On your
I
head.
was late to mid. My apologies.
I have been. All right, relax. What I'm saying. All right, relax, everybody. What I'm saying is, I've been a big Joey Badass fan for a long time. Do I think he brought this on himself? Yes. He has not technically bitched about it, so that's fine. He's showed up.
Technically.
He showed out. He hasn't like came out like, oh.
How do you think he performed?
I think he performed pretty well. Like, because the thing is like, Joey Badass, I know that there is a ceiling of Joey Badass. Absolutely. 1999.
And we all saw it.
1999 is fantastic. Before the Money, also a very good album. All American Badass, you could agree to disagree. I really like 2000, the newer one. The thing is like, to me, the music that he's dropped has consistently kept me,
Right.
satisfied as a fan of him, right? And so
He a fan.
now this comes out, right? And all this shit starts happening. Again, that is my first thought, and that's why I bring that into this, is like, Joey, you could have just stayed the fuck out of this. Part of me is like, is this for the clout of it? Is this also because you think you could you can stand your ground?
It's sorry.
No, you're
Sorry,
good. You're
real
good.
quick,
You're good. You're
real
good.
quick.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you keep cooking.
I'm gonna
go
go
ahead.
after you, bro.
It's both because it's clout, but it also is like, I genuinely think that Joey wanted to prove his point because he announced the album right after this battle happened.
Yeah.
That
was
a big fact.
So it is clout, but it's also, I genuinely believe that Joey wanted this opportunity to prove himself because why? He keeps mentioning Kendrick, but keep going.
Well, yeah. So he has.
So it's both.
He's shot at Kendrick here and there. I don't think it now, but no. But looking,
That last whole record was like almost all about Kendrick.
but no. Looking back, is it about
Crash
Kendrick or is it about the West Coast in general?
It was
He
Kendrick.
didn't directly say anything about Kendrick
He tried
one
to hit.
time.
Oh,
I know, but
no.
he's trying to hit Kendrick on that
we
shit.
can pause.
I can read your metaphors,
and
Negro.
we can play Crash Dummy.
We'll take another break.
That whole song is about him wanting to battle Kendrick.
And also- Can I ask- wait.
No, hold up.
That
I
whole
haven't
song
even
is fun.
I haven't finished yet.
Yeah,
but-
sorry.
Okay, I will say. Okay, perhaps I'm wrong then. Whatever.
No, that
What-
whole song is about him being like, I won. I checkmated all of you.
Also, he didn't.
I checkmate all of you. Relax. We'll get to
Nah.
we'll get to your point.
I haven't even finished mine.
Chris, finish your spot. Finish
I know,
your jump,
and
bro.
I know, and I want to let you keep going. Joey,
Let him cook.
that whole song is him. I checkmated all of you. I beat all of you. Now I want my shot at Kendrick. That was all that.
Now,
He still don't deserve
That's
that
all
shit.
all right.
Okay, that's another conversation. Go ahead, keep going.
I have not heard that one yet because
You haven't heard Crash on me?
No, keeping up with all of this has been fucking hard. I've tried to keep up as much as I can. I haven't heard.
Do we want to pause it and listen to it?
Well,
we can.
well,
if you,
Nah,
if you
bro.
want
We'll do it after.
We'll recap after.
Okay.
What I do want to say. Okay, so I wasn't aware of that. My apologies. Right.
No, you're
But what I'm saying is like originally, let's talk about where this started with the Rulers back. That wasn't directed. I mean, technically, because Kendrick is the West Coast, it was directed at the entire collective of West Coast.
Right.
The East Coast is better. Fuck the West Coast.
His whole thing this whole time has been calling out Kendrick because he wants, let's be honest, he wants that status. Like, if Kendrick responds, he gives Joey Badass more press than he ever would get otherwise.
But there's sides to this also because, one, Joey Badass does not necessarily
At
need
this
it.
point, he does need that.
No, he's not, because he's a successful actor. He's been doing this for he's rich as fuck.
Yeah,
He doesn't need it.
but let's be honest. What the fuck do people know him for real? Right now, in 2025, what the fuck do people know Joey Badass for real?
I know him for his excellent music that he's dropped. Anyway,
And what else?
and his acting that I saw.
Where?
He was in the Wu-Tang show
On what network?
on fucking Hulu.
On Hulu fucking online.
That's what every fucking
Pause.
show is ever. Okay,
Pause.
what do you want to say? That's every show in existence right now. What are you
It's
talking about?
not every show. There are still fucking network shows.
That doesn't matter. The network shows mean less than the fucking. We're getting
Okay, so you trying to tell me right now that more people saw him on that shit and know who he is.
Bryce, I think you're arguing a very dumb point.
No, but I was gonna say, no. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
though. Let's be
you're
honest.
losing the plot here.
No,
We're not
let's
talking
talk about this
what
stuff
his
for real.
acting credits are.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Do actual people know who the fuck he? Does actual people know?
People know who
That's
he is?
Joey
Yes, they do.
Badass on the fucking Hulu Plus show.
Not Hulu Plus, Hulu original. But anyway,
Right, whatever. Shit, the shit with the commercials.
what, Bryce?
I can't
That's
afford
that's
that.
not the point. What I'm saying is,
I got a lot of streaming networks. I ain't got that shit. So
you don't have Hulu? Okay. But anyway,
Brokey.
what I'm saying,
nigga, I got HBO Max. What you got?
I got HBO Max plus negative. Yeah. Okay. No, but all I'm trying to say is, look, I've been a fan of Joey Badass for a long time. I think that he has performed very well throughout this whole thing. Does it change the status of where he stands in my list of? I think he is a B tier rapper who battled B tier rappers, or C tier rappers, or D tier.
Do you think
rappers.
that Kendrick
they were
should?
D
Do you
tier.
think that Kendrick should
I
battle?
would say D. I would say
My
at least
question.
C.
I don't think Kendrick.
Here's the. I guess a full question for me is, from your perspective, do you think that Kendrick should battle him?
Absolutely not. I don't think that Kendrick should or is going to battle anybody else. That it's not going to happen. It's,
no,
I'm
he's
sorry,
done.
like Drake was the only. The thing is, what people are losing the plot of, it's not about being challenged. Kendrick fucking hates Drake. That's the thing. That's what people keep forgetting. It's not just because Drake challenged him after all of this shit. Kendrick fucking despises that man.
Drake has been trying to fucking poke the bear for fucking years.
That's what I mean. That's so different from somebody saying, I'm better than you. Kendrick can just say, all right, bro. Like, that's it. And he doesn't need to, right? It's
All right,
it's
so
the
I have a
fact
question
of-
for you outside of that. Who could challenge Kendrick right now that you think he should respond to?
Nobody.
The only person is Jay-Z.
Okay. So,
But he wouldn't.
Chris, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this too.
That's not. Excuse me.
Shit.
Sorry. That's not real. That's not realistic.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not going to happen. But honestly, I'm going to ask you the same question. Like, right now, Kendrick has just defeated Drake, the GOAT at the time. Who could honestly give him a run for his money?
Who could give?
Or
him
not
a-
who can give, like, he probably going to defeat everybody. But who do you think
He's
is
scared.
worthy of his time?
Literally, I think Jay-Z is the only one.
Literally.
And I think that's a good answer.
Literally, no one that's realistic. Like Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's 100%. They're on this. They're
Jay is not going to step in the ring with Kendrick.
of course not. They're
But
colleagues.
They
But-
love each other.
But when it comes to the Joey Badass conversation, because that's where I want to keep it. I don't want this to go too far. Has Joey Badass earned
No.
the fade with Kendrick?
No.
No.
I think he has
No.
earned a response from Kendrick.
No.
No.
Does he earn a whole battle? No. But Kendrick definitely
Because
absolutely
Joey Badass.
absolutely has to
No,
to
he
talk
doesn't.
about-
Because
No, he
Joey,
doesn't.
whatever Kendrick says,
No,
Joey
Joey
Why
Badass.
does he
Joey-
have to?
Joey ran through all of Kendrick's henchmen The only thing that's
Henchman is funny. Thinking of him like it's
Also,
the bat.
I'm sorry.
the only thing no.
Or what is this, chess?
The only
It's
thing
fucking Batman.
the only thing that stands between Kendrick and Joey right now, because of
Is multiple tiers of actual ability of rapping. Joey Badass ain't that good of a rapper as Kendrick is.
no, Joey's gonna get absolutely dog walked if he ever faces.
And let's
Kendrick.
also relax. Joey Badass is a fantastic rapper.
He is.
Great rapper,
He is.
but he's
But
not at Kendrick's level.
He's not on Kendrick's level
He
by
is-
any means.
he
I
is
just
good.
want to. The two things can be true.
Listen,
he's a good rapper, but
Max
he's
Clark,
not-
I love Max
Hold
Clark,
on,
but he's not ready to play in the fucking major leagues.
That's a great point. That's a great analogy. Because Joey's gonna get absolutely dog walked if he faces Kendrick.
Any and every day.
Dog walked.
Absolutely.
And I love.
I agree with
Joey.
that.
And I love Joey.
Let me just say,
But
too.
hold on. Let me finish my point, and then I'll toss it to you.
Zeke is next.
Yes.
Yeah, bro, I got
Say
next.
his load.
I got next.
So the thing about Joey facing Kendrick, there's one person standing in between Joey Badass earning the fade with Kendrick that he is gonna no doubtably get walked down. It is Absol.
That's what I was gonna say. Because Joey Badass and
Because-
Absol are genuinely friends in real life too.
Not even that part of it. Not even that part of it is that like go listen to Raw. Like, so I'm a hip hop people. I don't know about anybody else that's
Raw
listening.
backwards on all you rappers.
I don't know about anybody else that listens to this podcast or that is in this podcast. I listen to Raw.
Raw backwards on all you rappers. Right?
Raw backwards on all of you rappers. That whole song
That's
is
war.
about Absol standing to bat for TDE, for Kendrick, for anybody. I am TDE's bodyguard. I am TDE's push. Just like pushes would dream good music.
I told y'all
Right?
he was kind of doing
Like
that because
that-
he was
that's
hinting
what-
in on that one
that's
song,
everyone
Crazier,
is-
with him and
that's
JID.
That's what Ab is supposed to be. Right?
Take on this.
I know he was gonna be like
Absol's-
that because he was kind of throwing subliminals on that song with JID called Crazier that I was showing y'all. He was doing some
Absol?
he was doing some lights dissing on there.
I mean,
Absol has got to be the one. He did the Red Bull cipher with Joey, and him and Big Sean were haha kiki whatever.
And
they
him-
were hugging.
and
They were
him-
hugging and
saying
dancing.
that.
That shit
I
made
wanna
me
hear
sick
this-
to my fucking stomach.
I know.
Why?
but I wanna hear
Because-
Zay's take
Because
on this.
Absol
they should
has
be
to-
friends. All of them should be fucking.
Yes. No. All of this is friendly. All of this is friendly.
Yeah,
I
so
think-
it's not
I-
sick
I-
sick to the stomach. It's like
All I
this-
know.
I'm sick to the stomach of like I expect Ray Vaughn and Joey Badass to have a drink together.
Okay.
Even though they engage in
All right,
multiple
Chris.
diss records.
I just
No,
want to hear
hold on,
Zay's
hold on.
real quick.
We're getting to him. We're getting to him. But Joey Badass to me, he leveled out the y'all all played video games.
once or twice.
You smoke them motherfuckers out that meant nothing. You smoke them motherfuckers 2 shots, blah blah blah. They're dead.
Perhaps.
But there's that person that comes out
Perchance.
that takes 4, 5,
I
6
suck at
shots.
video games.
Yeah, I don't.
And
think
that
you're a
is
video game
and that
guy.
is Absol. And Joey, I get that they're friends because it's all friendly.
Well,
But
some of it.
but
I get
Absol-
that.
But Absol
I just wanna hear-
prided himself on being Kendrick's bodyguard, on being TDE's bodyguard. No, so Absol, so Joey, while Joey smoked Ray Vaughn and all of these other people, right? He smoked all of them.
That's not how the
He does not. He is still, to me, while he was impressive in that, to earn the Kendrick battle, I would say he earned the Kendrick battle if Absol stepped in the ring and he beat Absol. Absol is supposed
some of
to
the
be
lyrics.
the bodyguard.
Okay. I just want to hear what Zay got to say on this one.
Give me a second. I'm looking up something really quick.
No, you're good.
We hope the IDM a Joey Bada.
Chris, you know I'm always
So-
yo fucking like.
I don't know.
Frank
Like I
Edwards
gotta
at the
disagree
same
with you,
time.
Chris, because I'm along with them because with the whole Joey Badass and Kendrick responding to him, it's like why? Like he's doing Joey Badass a favor. Then at that point, it's just like okay, I'm gonna just bring this dude up with me,
He is.
shout him out.
But
Like
that's
no,
what
I'm
saying.
not gonna fucking do
Joey
it.
has to prove more.
Why bother?
Why
If
does
I'm
he
Kendrick
need to?
Lamar, if I'm Kendrick Lamar and I'm already proving to everybody I'm the best, and then I got some dude lower than me talking shit, I'm gonna be like,
Because you can't pick one fight and then become the
Yes,
king.
you can.
And,
yes you can.
and what we
If I'm the
also
king,
have
I'm
to-
gonna pick my.
what we
I'm
need to
gonna
keep in
pick who's worthy enough
perspective
to fight
here
me.
is that
Y'all are tripping.
even the rapper on
You guys are
SoundCloud,
tripping.
even the rapper on SoundCloud with 5 views says he's the best. Every rapper says they are the best. It does. That's part of fucking rap music. Like everybody says they're the best. You could be the most dog shit rapper, and you will still say you are the best to ever fucking do it. Like that's the thing. That's not a threat.
I'm the best, man. I did it.
Yeah, and that's not a threat at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I'm the best,
Like-
man.
Like
I did it.
That would be like
You look like
taking
Rosie
like, I don't
O'Donnell at a
like
bri-
some like nobody
bisexual bridal shower.
journalist, like somebody you never even like somebody you rarely hear about,
You know I had to bring
Right.
and
I
then
get it.
he's talking mad shit about you, and then you bring him on the podcast and y'all
But what-
talk it out. It's
but
like
what
no
you're saying-
man,
but what
I'm
you're
not gonna
saying- what you're
bring this
saying-
nobody
what you're
here.
saying is not different than what I'm saying. What I'm saying is right now is that Joey hasn't earned that fate. He hasn't. You're also
I don't think he
saying
deserves
that.
it either.
You're also saying that he hasn't earned that fate.
Yeah, we are agreeing with that.
But
yeah, no.
What I'm saying is here is the step to get to that fate, and it is Absol.
I was gonna say like in the Absol, I was a fire one because like that countered mine like just off rip because I was gonna say if he actually had the balls to like actually like get with him and he wasn't like soft, I would say J. Cole would have been a fire one, but he ain't gonna do that.
J. Cole ain't ready for that shit.
J. Cole and Big Sean, man. Charmin
Bam.
Tissue Ultra Soft. I love them. Shout out.
Listen, I'm just saying. I don't think J. Cole ready for that war. J. Cole.
J.
up
Cole
here
don't
riding
want
the
that.
Bike. He is.
Big Sean
he's right. He's riding his bike.
Big
Yeah,
Sean
bro,
won't
he's-
even respond to the biggest punching bag that exists in Kanye West. What makes you think that?
I don't think he needs
Can
to
I-
respond.
He's,
can I-
he's
all right.
softer than Cole.
Can I tell you something real quick? If this were me and our Big Sean, I wouldn't fucking talk about Kanye. I won't. As a human being, as a person right now, don't give a fuck about
we already
Ye.
had this conversation.
I know.
If Kanye
But
West
the-
said something to me
What-
and I was
what the
Big
fuck
Sean,
am I
I'm going to talk to
Sean
Jenny
and-
Aiko.
You beat up the elders. You beat up the cripple.
Nobody in this room loves Sean and Cole more than me.
Bros with
That's
Janae Aiko. I don't give a shit about Kanye.
You can't be a bigger fan than everybody than us. also,
I am.
no, that's not true. But anyway,
Well, that's what he said.
Does anybody like J. Cole or Big Sean more?
that is true.
All I know is
Probably,
that
but you
I
do say
love
that a lot, and
Kanye.
that's not
listen,
always true.
Can I say this much?
But this
I
time it's
love
true.
This time it's
Kanye West. I don't give a fuck about Ye. That motherfucker Ye.
It's two different people.
Those are two different people, and I hope that he fucking
Easy.
stops being popular or making music or whatever the fuck.
That's
I don't
fine.
care.
Whatever he considers it,
That's
he's doing.
fine, and I agree with that. And
But-
I hate it, and I hate
And
it too.
I do think
But
that
Sean and Cole are soft.
I do think that like
And
we-
what,
you
what,
know that-
what,
you and I
what
had-
good is it gonna do Sean to bring that up right now? Now you got the well, now
You and I've had
now
this
you got fucking
conversation.
Hitler's Youth after like.
Yeah, like,
it
for
doesn't
real.
make any sense to even
I-
bring it up in the first place because it's irrelevant at this point.
Dude.
Nobody even remembers that.
And I've told you this
No,
I
get
told
it.
you this last week. I'm from Detroit, born and raised in Detroit. I don't care about someone trying to fucking, oh, we got Detroit versus everyone. I don't care about that shit. All right. If you from here, you don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Legacies are at stake.
No,
But
it's
Your
not.
legacy of
is
what
not at
you
stake.
want. That's what
I
you
disagree.
want. That's exactly what you want. I understand that,
No, and that's-
and
and
I
that's-
respect
and that's-
that.
and
I
that's-
respect
and
your.
that's
I
where-
respect
look,
that.
Let's have the conversation of okay, so like everything that happened, right? The Joey and everybody jumped out.
Because we talked about last week the fucking actual round table.
How how much were you entertained? Because I was entertained.
I was very entertained by the fucking round table without anything else happening afterward.
I was entertained, but the thing about this is that while it was entertaining, again, I don't want to hold everything to like how magnificent the Drake and Kendrick battle was, because that was great.
That was a year ago. We moved on. This has been a full fucking calendar year. Let's move on.
Well, what I will say in defense, it's not fully moved on. We're still in
It's
court.
not. It's
but
not full. It's not fully
but I'd like to
Also,
still
that's
continues.
Drake in court. Fuck his ass.
But what I'm saying is this: is that I really enjoyed Joy Bass and all these people popping out because you know what? Even though there are the people that won and didn't win.
What did I text you?
I thought a lot of people showed out. I thought a lot of people showed.
What did I text
They
you?
popped
It's
off.
May is the month of beef.
And I enjoyed that.
Hey man, this
But-
bringing real rap back too.
Right.
okay.
So I enjoyed all of that. Let me just
No,
say this.
wait, as I'm saying, please let him cook. Let him cook.
Sorry.
So no, you're good. So what I say is this: is that I enjoyed everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that happened was super dope. I thought it was great for the sport. I enjoyed it. It was a great way, especially when it happened on a Tuesday, when middle of the week you're looking for because
they're dropping it at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon.
We do this podcast every week. Every week, this podcast is about what happens Thursday night.
On a Friday
Right?
too. We do this
Yeah.
podcast on a Friday after.
Yes.
We had a whole week of.
But it is all about what drops Friday because that's when the industry drops.
But we had a whole week of drops.
I'm very grateful that we had a light music week in terms of the Friday drops, but I enjoyed the fact that we had like a middle of the week that was spicy, that was entertaining, that was fun, and so while that was enjoyable, I will say that despite it being enjoyable, like I look at this Joey Bass beef where he packed up the West Coast to like the Joyner and the Tory Lanez beef, right? It was cool. It was fun. But
Fuck is Joyner Lucas
but-
beefing with?
This
I don't even remember that.
but right. And that's my fear.
one.
It's like
I'll never listen to
is
Joyner
like
Lucas,
is like this was cool. I enjoyed this. But it made me realize, and I know this is hyperbolic. This is something that like this is a very far expectation that I can't cast. It's unfair. But it meant something that Kendrick and Drake battled. Why? Not because of who they are, but because of the legacy of it, right? Like it felt like whoever won or lost that, there was going to be a conversation about the legacy, about the aftermath of what happened.
but legacy
this
is all
Joy- this-
personal.
can I
it's
say
all
this?
personal
Right,
perception.
right. But this Joey Badass, and I love Joey Bass, and I'm not trying to take away from Joey Bass. Joey Bass does not have a legacy in hip hop.
Can I say this?
He doesn't. He doesn't have a legacy in hip
I
hop.
understand.
So his win over the West Coast is very impressive. I respect Joey. Tip my cap
Chris.
to Joey.
Can I say this much?
But as much as I enjoyed this, it didn't hold that punch because it didn't have that legacy factor to it. It didn't
Dude,
have this.
can I
didn't
just
have
say
this,
that- okay, all right.
This stamped. This took an all-time great, and this put him up a level.
and
I
want to bring everyone back in this one because I think we all should have an opinion on this last point. But can I say
I got
this?
one more point too, but go ahead.
No, you got.
I just want to, because I will say, because it's unrelated to the conversation but related to all of this, is that the one thing I did really like about it is that it brought some pro era people out that I haven't heard from
Nick
in a long
Caution.
time.
Right.
We haven't seen Nick Caution. Has not been out for a fucking
CJ Fly
decade.
did his thing.
That's what I wanted to say is that like what I did like about it is it brought people that I haven't heard from in so long out the woodwork. And look, it's easy to they're easy targets obviously. Where the fuck have you been? All right, boom, roasted. Like you know what I mean?
Can I just say this real quick?
But I enjoyed seeing these people that I've known about and listened to for years and years to see them come out kind of the woodwork and whatever. I thought that was in my opinion the coolest perspective.
It was the most.
And granted, are they holding their own? Maybe.
But can I say this much?
And I also think it was.
I just want to
say
say
to bring up capital Steez. I'll say that too.
I just want to say I
yeah.
think this was a great.
That's wrong.
I think this was a great moment in the fucking lexicon of hip hop because we all love the fucking competition. That being said, this is not all that hip hop is. Some parts
That's
of hip
what
hop
I mean.
I do enjoy. It's like sometimes we like a good party song, and that is a okay thing to have. What I do enjoy.
It's a great song. Does the room disagree?
No,
It's a good song.
the thing it's
but
it's the
what
most
else-
complex.
Fantastic song.
All right, listen.
It's the most
Bringing it
complex
back,
genre
bringing
of
it
all
back,
time.
bringing it back in.
It is the
What I
most
want to say is
complex genre
this:
to ever
I think
exist.
that we all understand there is some fun to be having in hip hop. There's some battle to be had in hip hop, but it's not all about one thing. And I think that as long as we keep the diversity of hip hop going, that's what the fuck matters.
Exactly.
No. So let's end with this.
Preach.
I agree. That's beautiful said. So, who are like, cause like if we could get in like the laboratory, right? We can go like hip hop, like fantasy sports with it, right? Like we can talk about all these people that like we want to see in a battle. Like who is the person or the person with the matchup that you want to see? Like who is? Because
To the Joey thing, not Kendrick.
We all got enjoyed by okay. You can even say Joey or Kendrick, doesn't matter. I'm living in an open field of like we all enjoyed this transpiring that happened this week. So what is like the dream of that you're trying to manifest? Like what is the one thing where you're like, oh, it'd be really sick if these people go at it, or just if this person stepped in the ring. Like who is the person that like you're really trying to see in that phase, in that battle portion?
J. Cole and Freddie Gibbs.
Interesting.
J. Cole is fucking.
Like, and that's again.
That's what he
I'm
said.
saying, like,
That's
if
what he-
J. Cole
I know.
This is a
had
hypothetical.
that, like, that grit to actually get in the ring and do it, but J. Cole and Freddie Gibbs would be an interesting one.
Why, dog? That's okay. So that's to me.
You asked the hypothetical.
No, I know.
And I gave it to you, brother.
I'm free to give my response to it, and that I like that because Freddie Gibbs is a dope MC. I feel like that's Cole lyrically swinging below
I got the answer for
below his weight class.
Maybe. Depends how you look at it.
Like,
I would
like,
say
like
it's
if
like
I-
this.
if,
I would say it's kind of in the
again,
same weight class, but
if
Freddie
I
Gibbs is a little low in that weight class.
Do I think Cole is
If I
better?
want Cole to punch, and I know this isn't happening, obviously this isn't happening, but I wanted him to fight Kendrick or Drake. Like he is in that class. Like if
Chris
he
Platte,
fights-
who's yours? That's what I want to know.
I got several.
Okay, well I'll take any one of them. Please let me know.
I'm waiting for somebody to challenge Nick Grant.
I know you love Nick
Nick
Grant.
Grant said on Twitter he didn't want to be challenged.
No, he said the opposite.
Okay, so can I say this much?
He said the opposite.
I know you guys are gonna hate this as my answer, but
Macklemore versus who?
give me D-Rock and my nigga Kane. Because listen, the Yin Yang
Alright,
Twins,
alright,
back in the
bro.
day. Hey, wait, hold up. No, I know you all talking shit, but Let's be honest.
No, it was just a crazy poll, is all.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
In
yeah,
the back
was-
in the
that was
day,
nuts.
who ever had beef with the Yin Yang Twins, and how many people wanted to do a collaboration with them? Back in their day, the Yin Yang Twins were kind of the hottest
But where now?
motherfuckers in rap.
Bored now.
Okay, now,
I wish somebody would try JID.
I know.
No?
JID is about to drop a dookie ass album.
I
love
would
JID.
take Little Brother over JID, but also none of y'all know who Little Brother is, so
I know.
Hey,
No, hold on.
listen,
I know who
if-
Little Brother is.
if-
That's
I know
If
Chris knows.
If this JID album slaps, I just want you to know I'm taking credit for this slap.
If this JID album
I
slaps,
disrespected
you got to
JID,
eat your socks.
And he favorited the little mention that I had of him.
Cam, yep.
what?
Shout out to the Rap Cave podcast. We got this shit. Shout out to JID, Smino, all them.
No. You're joking, but no bullshit. I tagged him because I hope that he saw it and he was the first.
I'm not joking. I just said it to say what up.
Again, I said what I said about JID. I don't need to repeat it, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I gave him all the tools.
Host Chris, what would be your go to? That's what I want to know.
I know this is going to sound funny to Platte, but I prefer nobody to fucking beef at this point because I'm fucking
Same.
over it. Honestly, it's literally I want both teams to have fun, but I just
Just want everybody to get along.
It sounds fucking silly on the surface, but
Just want everybody to get along.
All right, I'm gonna listen.
okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me just finish. Let me finish. The thing is again, my thing is because that is a classic line for me when it comes to most things.
Right.
It's just but genuinely, again, to me, and I've said this to you, Platte, and I know you've understood this in the way that I see it is this is now taking away from the music. It's not about music anymore. It's about
Podcast
who's above who. Because quite frankly, I've never seen a worse beat selection in a rap beef than this fucking.
Podcast
beef
Friday,
here.
you are the man to tell us. Lead us to the promised land.
Let me
Lead us to the promised land.
It's taking away from the music and it's putting
Rap
more into the
beefs
drama.
always have
This is
terrible beats.
no. Hold up. No,
That's all I want to say.
No, this is hip hop turning into fucking
Right.
TMZ right now, and I don't like that shit. This is fucking who's hot, who's not. The top, who wants to be? Everyone needs to be the fucking center of attention. That's not the point. If you're not making music because you like making music, then you shouldn't make music.
I agree with.
It should be about the fact that you like to make music and that you enjoy what you're doing, not because you want to be better than somebody else, not because of any of this bullshit.
I believe in
because
Chris.
somebody said a halfway fucking point.
I love you. I think that.
Take us home, man.
No, I think that
I get to finish.
there are several people that exist in the space that you are saying, and so while I get your point of wanting it or of battles taken away from the music.
Which it does, 1,000%, and you have to agree with that. There's no question.
Facts.
Because you're not talking about yourself. You're talking about somebody else that you don't know. Right? Right or wrong?
Facts.
I'll
He's
disagree
right.
with that.
How?
Joey's got an album coming out.
Okay, but in this beef, he is not he's talking shit about people that he does not know.
That is attention to say what I'm gonna say on my album.
Okay, but the thing is that he got that attention by talking about people that he doesn't know. Kendrick and Drake are talking about each other, which they don't know. Everyone is talking about shit they don't fucking know about.
So let me ask you this. How much do you value songs that aren't going to be on an album? Because that's what all these records, records are gonna be on the album. So yes, he made this hoopla, and it's about
What singles and fucking disses are two very, very different things.
Right. That's exactly my point. Is so that Joey Badass is gonna drop a single for his album.
Yes.
He's going to drop multiple probably singles for his album. So like he did this battle, right? And it was what it was. Now he's going to move on from it. He very conveniently, again, I'm not hating on it, but very conveniently, the day that the battle was over, said, "Hey, I got an album coming, and guess what? I'm gonna drop it. I don't have a date, but I'm gonna drop it before August 30th, which was August 30th rule, aligned with the Grammy nomination date.
Okay,
which makes sense.
So he made it very clear that he is going to submit
this
this
album.
album.
Not gonna get.
He's gonna get cleaned by Kendrick. He wants it. That's why he wants the Kendrick fade so bad. But
so what's the question then?
The question is that, like, I don't like, I get your point, but I don't feel like it fully applies if the fact of like the buzz that you get off of this battle is what it is, right? But your album is a separate entity of that.
Facts.
So
yes. No, I agree with that. Okay. I agree it's a separate entity, but that's why. But your original question of how much do you value songs that aren't on albums? I value them very much, but it depends what you're talking about. If you're talking about how much you fucking, if you're talking about what you're talking about on this, why does it? This is quantity over quality at this point, because disses are not quality music to me. They are gimmicks. That's what it is. I'm sorry, but you could take that back to Jay-Z and Nas.
That's actually a very good
That
point.
is Jay-Z and Nas. It's gimmick. That's what it fucking is. I've always stood by the
Chris,
point.
what are you gonna say?
I have always stood by the point that beef is a part of hip hop, and I understand that, but that does not take away from the fact that it is fucking gimmick music. That's what it is, because you are not staying true to yourself. You are not staying true to the music that you want to make. You are bothered and angry and trying to make something to make somebody else angry. You are not staying true to the shit that you started this shit for.
I don't think that you make a lot of great points.
Thanks.
I would argue the truth of like sometimes a motherfucker can hate a motherfucker just because he hates a motherfucker. And that is their truth. So like, well, you and I can sit from the outside and be like, that's whack. They hate this person because of this, and that. People can hate people, and
For sure.
That's just a matter of fact.
But that doesn't change my perception of the fact of
what you're saying isn't fully wrong. I don't put a lot of stock into it just because yes, like a battle between legacies, like people that have legacies, which is like excluded in hip hop to the top
Very
20,
few.
25.
Yeah.
Those people that do engage in battles, yes, legacy matters. Those songs matter. For Joey Badass, this was nothing more than an album rollout. And I'm not trying to take away from what he did, because what he did was applaudable, right? Like what he did.
It's the best way to do it.
Like what he did was very well.
I think he held his own relative.
And those battle records are separate from the album that he is about to drop. I don't think anybody expects any of those songs to be on his album.
No, of course.
It's like Kendrick Lamar.
Of course not. Which you are correct about. But the thing is like, to me, those aren't the Joey Badass record. That's not why I like Joey Badass. I like Joey Badass because I like
So
the real music he makes.
Right.
I like I like when he talks about his life, his upbringing in Flatbush, his fucking Capital Steez'
Let me ask you
unfortunate
one
passing.
question. Let me ask you one question. So, you can like all of Joey Badass for all of those reasons, and I'm not gonna discredit those because those are all valid reasons. But is this not another like plus? Like Joey performed well in a battle, and whether you want to put stock into what this means for his album and his legacy, that's a whole nother conversation. But like, I look at it as Joey performed well in this situation. That is a plus, right?
But why? But why do
versus-
I care? Because
that's what I'm trying to ask you is that so like you love Joey Badass for the art that he makes, for the songs, the depth, the albums,
Right.
Everything that Joey Badass does is very valuable to you, right?
Yes.
So why can't you look at this as a simple as a separate thing, but a plus, right? Like
Because I don't care about the plus. Like, I listened to Joey Badass before people were fucking on to him. Like, before people listened to... I don't give a fuck about how much exposure anybody gets.
right. It's
That's-
about the art.
That's
right.
my thing. Is like, and I mean, maybe call me a fucking pretentious whatever, because I, and I, of course, I always have the side of like, oh, well, I'm an artist, so like, and even aside from music, like, just like whatever. But it's like, to me, like, it's never like, because that's essentially making the argument of numbers. That's what that's doing. And that's why I don't. Yes, because if you're saying that's a plus, what is the plus? It's exposure. It's numbers. That's what it is. What other plus is there?
The plus is that hip hop, right?
Yes, of course,
So
very well.
So yes. So you as somebody that knows hip hop knows the intricacies of what a battle is and what all the factors that entail. And Joey performed extremely well in
Agreed.
those circumstances.
I agree with that.
Yes, you're agreeing with everything I'm saying. So like, I don't see how you can, and I know you're not like totally just being like, I don't give a fuck about like this battle.
Yeah.
I know you're not saying that, but what I'm saying is, I guess I'm confused as to how
I don't see this as a net positive.
yes,
Because-
exactly. There
because-
you go. Perfect.
The songs that he dropped, I don't fucking care about and will never listen to again. Because it's not the music that I'm here for. It's not why I'm a fan of Joey Badass. Just
Right.
like the records that Kendrick dropped. Now, Not Like Us is, I guess, an exception of like,
Right.
that was also just unobjectively a banger or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to listen to...
Euphoria or
Yeah,
Euphoria or
I don't,
whatever.
that's not coming on my playlist because that's not, to me, you're getting, not you, but like these,
Yeah.
the artist gets a rose-tinted lens of what this song becomes, and it becomes not about the music anymore. It's not about the music. Henceforth, like I said, some of the worst beat selections in a rap beef I've ever seen. That's what I'm saying, is like, you're losing the plot of why you started doing this in the first place. You're losing the plot. You're losing the fact of the point of why you started making music in the first place. If you're not focused on making the absolute best music that you could possibly make,
What are
then
we
I don't need it. And that's my opinion. I'm not trying to argue anybody.
Right.
Everybody, and also it's not that I don't hate rap beef in general. Like, I think that it is fun to an extent, but that also doesn't change the fact. I've been saying this since the start of the Drake and Kendrick thing. I don't like how it takes away. It doesn't matter. You have 100% worth of focus, right, on anything you do. When you're shifting your focus from how good of music you can make to how well you can beef, that focus shifts, and that's undeniable. Like, no matter what. And granted, sometimes it's good music, and sometimes it's not. but I would rather them focus on the craft that they got into this shit for, rather than trying to, maybe belittle somebody else. I'm not trying to sound like a put, and I also love, I enjoy seeing rap beat, but there's an extent. There's a point to it that because now we have fucking 30,000 people involved in this rap beef that first of all, you're getting involved. Nobody's gonna hear that shit to begin with. Second of all, the thing is, focus on making good music before you focus on how better you are than the person next to you, because it doesn't matter to me. Okay, is this a plus for Joey? For sure. Is it gonna get him more exposure? For sure.
Yeah.
But that makes zero difference in my life.
Tomorrow, so I gotta go.
All right, bro.
You good?
All right.
But no, I think you make great points. I just again, where we agree to disagree, because you made great points. Where we agree to disagree is on the fact of I'll value a plus where it's a plus, and we both acknowledge it's a plus. It's just that to you, that plus doesn't mean as much as to me. To me, that plus is very
I do get
It's strong.
I do get where you're coming from, because these are the two sides of it. Is I think that, let me flip this. I think that you're looking at it as from a perspective of this is an artist I really, really like, and I want to see them succeed. But I'm on the end of, I don't really give a fuck how much success this person has.
Right.
As long as I enjoy their music. There's people with 2,000 views that have always had 2,000 views that I enjoy. Or take Denzel Curry, for example. Somebody I was on very early who had very little exposure. I liked his music because I liked his music. It didn't matter how popular he was. It didn't matter about the exposure. Would I like to see the artists that I like win? Of course, 100%. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily dictate my taste in music or what I like or don't like. You know what I mean? There's a line drawn from that. Love you, Bryce.
Love you too.
There's a line drawn there at some point. You know what I mean? And so I just feel I don't know. To me, it doesn't make a difference to me, because legacy, in my opinion, there is the argument of legacy being objective, but at the same time, in my eyes, legacy is fully subjective on how you see this person.
Right.
Mac Miller is my favorite artist of all time. Does he have the greatest legacy of any hip hop artist of all time? Absolutely not. I mean, there's no way to say who does and who doesn't. But in my eyes, he has one of, if not the greatest legacies in hip hop. And that's the perspective that I look at this from, rather than the fact that I don't think legacy is something that's proven through battle. I think legacy is something that's proven
it's not entirely proven through battle.
Right.
It's just that's a portion of it.
And I'll leave it at that, because I won't say it's a ramble, because that's a concise thought, but at the same time, it's that is genuinely how I feel about that. In fact, that was probably the best I've been able to compartmentalize my thoughts on rap, on all these beefs in general. Because I've kind of said the same thing to you, but you do see my point in that, in a sense, right?
Yeah, no, I do. I just disagree in the fact of when it comes to there's always a winner and a loser, and what that and factually what that does for a person, and whether you put how much stock you put into it is your decision, right? For example, Drake, I think, has lost 3 battles. How much stock do you put in that? Depends differently. I put a lot of stock into the fact that you lost 3 battles, and and other people can sit there and be like, yeah, those are rap battles, they don't matter. And I'm not saying that those people are entirely wrong. for that perspective. Like I think that there's everybody can value things differently. That's why we have this platform is to have these kind of conversations, because everybody can value. The way I can value an album versus the way you can value an album is entirely different. Not that we can disagree on the album. We can have the same opinion on the album. But how much does that album mean is a
different to everybody.
Is a different thing.
And that's just, like, Zay, I mean, I'm sure you've realized at this point, but like me and Platte, although we can join on a lot of the same music, we look at music in two very different perspectives. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what it is. That's why it's like, I don't call winners. I very rarely call bests. I always say I have favorites. Because being the best at anything is always subjective. There's no way. Nobody has ever in the history of the world been the best at anything, because there's many factors that could play into.
It's impossible to reach the best because the best is always being,
shifted, changed. They're the best. Okay.
Like, look at the Olympics, bro. The world records is always getting broken every single time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Records are always broken. Like, would I generally say that like Jay-Z is the best rapper? Yes. There's a lot of songs. There are many songs. There are many songs that I have listened to over the years that I think are better than some Jay-Z songs. Like, you know what I mean? So the best or the top or whatever is so subjective at the end of the day that, like, I'm not looking to figure that out. I don't really care. I want good music. That's all I fucking want.
We were talking earlier, because I was like, I didn't like the Amine album, but you were like, you really fuck with it.
You didn't like it?
I wasn't a fan.
That's interesting, because that was the one new music thing I did want to talk about. Well, it was last week, but
I did do one run through of it, and I was like, yeah. We was talking about it earlier, and I was like, the reason why I didn't like it, because it sounded like he brung Daft Punk in the studio and was like, all right, let me rap on this real quick.
He knew what
he
knows what
I can see it. And it's just that's just a taste thing, really.
He knows what he needs to do.
That's taste. You know what I mean? It's about
Amine giving you a summer album makes a lot of sense.
But I do want to give it one more run through before I sit here and judge it. It was just that first one where you
I think you should.
I actually listened. I know it came out last week, but I listened to it for the first time.
That T Grizzly album was hard too, though. Yeah, the last song. I know y'all talked about it last week, but I wasn't here last week, so I had to touch on it. The last song on that, I forgot what it's called. Something 6 or 9, something like that. I forgot. Pause on that. But yeah, hard.
I just got the Amine album today. I really enjoyed it. In fact, me and Platte, me and you haven't even talked about it. Like, I really enjoyed it personally. I like it more than Kate I'll say off first listen.
Like you mean
more memorable.
Amine or just Kate?
Kate was. So that was who we were talking about. Kate and Amine had an album together.
I know that.
I would agree only because Forever watches everything that both those albums made, but there's like a very middle ground that this album.
Both are similar, but like the thing is like, you know how big of a Kate fan I am, absolutely. But like this album had more memorable moments to me, where the Kate album blended together a lot more. Yeah. So anyway, all right.
Shout out Amine. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 61.
You forgot to tell him to do something, bro. You forgot to tell him.
Like, comment, share,
and perhaps subscribe.
You better. Come on, dog. Do all of that, bro. Share with your friends, bro. I'm telling you, we're trying to get this boy going, bro. For real.
Help this channel grow. We appreciate y'all.
Shout out to everybody, man.
We're growing every week, but we want to grow more. So, shout out to everybody that's been active.
Listen, bro. Y'all better. I hope y'all been reading this too. Just let y'all know.
I can't read.
Come on now.
Never argue with someone.
Come on now.
Never argue with someone Harriet would have left behind.
Don't do it, bro.
Harriet would have left behind.
Don't do it.
No, you don't argue with that. You don't argue with that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of the Rap Cave Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods, with my dogs, Bryce Must Be Nice.
I don't know where that man went.
Damn, he turned invisible.
Zay. Big AP on the ones and twos back. We appreciate you. We can't do this shit without you. So big appreciation to you.
Man, shout out to Chris,
And,
bro. That dude puts in work over there.
Man. Y'all got any plans for the weekends?
Memorial
got
Day,
plans.
bro. Got
Memorial Day,
that
yeah.
day off, bro.
We got plans
I'm
tomorrow.
chilling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we getting
got
active
plans
tomorrow.
We getting active with it. We gonna talk about that off mic. We gonna talk about it off mic.
Bro,
Thank
we
you,
still gotta
everybody, for
wake
tuning
up
in.
early as shit too.
Please, everybody, like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a comment on everything that we said on this episode. We thank y'all dearly. We'll catch you. Have a safe, fun Memorial weekend. And enjoy this long weekend. Do all the stupid shit that I'm gonna do.
Don't.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.